Lowell! How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I am Rezi Orenji, and it is yet again time for some more music talk. How's it going, everybody? It is Sunday, 8 p.m. on August 24th, and I hope you all are having a fantastic evening. I actually just got back not that long ago from MMA NYC. That's been happening this weekend, and I went all, well, technically it was 4 days, and I was there briefly to pick up my badge on that first day. But yeah, I was there for all 4 days, and wow, what an event! Oh my gosh, it was. A lot of people were there. I mean, I know, it's sort of standard for a convention to be sort of overcrowded these days. Hopefully I don't catch anything from it. But yeah, there was a lot of people there, a lot of really cool cosplays. It was like the first time I really felt first time I've gone to like a modern con for all few days, but it's the first time I've ever felt like I got like the modern con experience, like I saw a bunch of people around doing TikToks in their cosplays. I saw a lot of QR codes being passed out and handed out. It felt very new to me, I guess, even though I've been to a bunch of anime cons before. But I had a bunch of fun and got up to a few music-related activities, actually. There was some Hololive karaoke going on in Hololive's booth. I got to see Fubuki and Louis of Hololive, I believe. Hololive JP, they performed some fantastic karaoke, and they were very cute. Fubuki especially. I love Fubuki. She is, to me, the one true Fox V. Well, not one true Fox. No, I don't want to denigrate all Fox VTubers, because there's certainly some great Fox VTubers out there. But Fubuki, she's the best. She is the most hard, talented. That's not a word. That's not a phrase. She's the most hardworking, talented person, Fox girl, in the VTubing space. Nobody does it like her. And also, something interesting I got at the dealer's hall. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this, but I bought myself an ocarina. It's a work in progress, but I may try learning it, at least enough to play, like the Zelda tunes or what have you. Try to reverse time by playing the Song of Time and all that. But anyways, I could dilly-dally and talk a lot more about my a lot more about Anime NYC for this entire stream, I think. But we're here for music talk primarily. It'll probably come up at some point. But I wanna give some room for my guest today, and I wanna get back into the groove of talking music with other, music-related VTubers. So, with all that being said, let us introduce our guest. I believe I found this one. Actually, she herself started up a server recently for music-making VTubers. It's the sort of community building that I've always wanted to participate in, getting together with other like-minded music tubers and, figuring out things to do, whether it be, music talk streams like me or like collabs on songs, on karaoke and what have you. So, they created this Discord server, and I joined it, and, I posted, in their whole looking for collabs channel about my music talk show, and she jumped at the chance to get involved. So I'm really excited to have her. She's been a veteran in this scene for a while now. She's been making music. She does her own sort of paranormal investigation. She's a paranormal investigation VTuber, paranormal investigator VTuber. So yeah, there's a lot to her, and I'm really excited to welcome her. Won't you all please join me in welcoming ParaNorma?
Hi.
Norma, welcome to the stream.
Hello.
I'm glad you're joining me. You are you're from the other side of the world, and I know it's been a process trying to find a time that fits, but I'm really glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm always happy to make it work. Because when you're from New Zealand, you've got the time zone debuff, but
Of
I do my
course.
best to make things happen. So I'm always
It's
happy
all
to
good. I mean, I I
figure it
never
out.
I never mind having people on from the other side of the world. I think I've had somebody on from
Hmm.
Indonesia before. Just last week, I was
Wow.
talking with Aoi Nipi, and she does she lives in Australia, even though she's
Oh
French, and it's
wow.
yeah, it's
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm one of
there's
those.
actually so many people down this end of the world. It's kind of crazy.
Hell yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
VTubers too. I would have never suspected
Hmm.
that so many VTubers would have come out from down under, but I'm
It's
happy
crazy.
I'm happy to see the diversity in this
Yeah,
community.
me too. Me
Uh
too.
Welcome Nori. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, hey.
Uh Yes, for everybody in chat, Dory Boschiariel, she's not only my good friend here, but she's also a good friend with ParaNorma. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited to talk with I guess a mutual, shall we say.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. But usually I like to start these streams. Hey, Richard G, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Uh,
Hey.
Usually I like to start these streams off by opening the floor to my guest, and in so doing I like to
Mhm.
ask them like what sparked their passion for music, because it's one thing for
Mm.
people to sort of treat music as background soundtracks to their life, sort of boosting their mood or what have you. It's another thing
Mhm.
entirely to be a VTuber making your own original music and releasing it on Spotify. So like, where did that
Yeah.
journey really start for you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So my interest in music, I mean, I've been really into music and especially singing for literally as long as I can remember. I think my like earliest memory of like really wanting to sing was like when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
I'm originally from the UK, so
Mm-hmm.
when I was back in the UK, before we moved to New Zealand, I remember being in my bedroom and my mum bought me this like old school CD player because it was the 90s.
Oh,
So
nice.
she bought me this CD player and I had all these CDs and I used to dance around my room and pretend I was making little stage shows and concerts and things like that. And I was
Aw.
always singing, like constantly singing. My one of my brothers, Frankie, he's also really musical, so our house was always very loud. Um, and I
Mm-hmm.
really think like my passion for music probably comes from my mum. Both my mum um, and my dad are really big music people, and they have such a varied taste in music. So growing up, my mum would like be playing all kinds of CDs around the house, from like indie rock to like just generic rock to pop music to like musical theater,
Mm-hmm.
classical music sometimes. So like we grew up like listening to a lot of different types of stuff. So yeah, I
Oh,
think it's
that's
definitely
great.
like a family thing. Like it was passed down from my mom and to me and my brother. And yeah, it's always just been a big part of my family. So music is like such a huge passion of mine and always has been.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I used
can
to tell my
very
mom when I was little. Yeah, sorry.
so go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I used to tell my mom when I was little. She'd be like, "Norma, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'd be like, "I want to be a pop star." And she's like, "Okay, that's really cool, but maybe like dampen the expectations a little bit because not everyone could be a pop star." I was like, "No, I'm gonna be a pop star." And she's like, "I don't. All right, that's cool."
Yeah, we gotta love supportive parents, people,
Yeah,
parents who are willing to entertain their children's love for music, no matter
yeah,
if it ends up landing, for on the moon or among the stars or whatever. Like I
yeah,
relate to
exactly.
you. I relate to you in the fact that
Mm,
both of my parents, they were super, heavy into music when I was a baby, when I was growing up. They were
yeah.
both deadheads, which are you familiar with the
Oh, yep.
term? Ah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, no.
I've heard it a little bit. I've heard it thrown around.
Okay, yeah, they used to follow the Dead like back in the day when they were still around, like I think in the 80s and 90s, and
Mm,
they were sort of steeped in that sort of psychedelic touring jam
nice.
scene earlier on. But my dad got me sort of exposed to that classic rock side of things, sort of alternative rock
Mm.
too. My mom, she was super more into like new wave and like sort of goth rock of
Oh,
the
nice.
80s. So it's like I
Oh,
got
like The
to.
Cure?
Yeah, yeah. No, she
Yeah.
loves The Cure.
My mum followed The Cure around Europe. And so my mum's claim to fame, I made a short about this.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a live stream with my mum one time, and we were talking about her love of The Cure and how she followed them around Europe like some crazed fan. She
Oh.
was in the front row of one of the concerts for The Cure, and she ended up in the booklet. There's like a booklet of like their tour, and there's a
Oh,
photo of my mum
wow.
right in the front row. But unfortunately, that concert, she threw her sunglasses and it hit Robert Smith in the head.
Oh no. That's a
It was a
shame.
total ADHD moment. She got so excited that she just was like, I just need him to have these. Took her sunglasses off and threw them. And she's a very bad shot, so she just smacked him right dead in the head. And
Oh
that's,
my
yeah, that's
gosh.
my mom's claim to fame. That she's like the biggest Cure fan. And she hit Robert Smith in the head with a pair of sunglasses, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I growing up, I remember my mom would always used to belt The Cure coming from her room,
good.
and
Yeah.
I gave her for a present. I think last Christmas when she came up, I gave her like a 3 CD edition of like their newest album song. I forget
Oh,
what it's called,
wow.
but like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I need to sit down and give them a good listen at some point. I know, like,
Honestly, you
obviously
should.
I know their biggest stuff, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't really explored goth rock all that much, you know.
Yeah. I remember my mum used to play the Cure Greatest Hits a lot when I was growing up. To the point
Mhm.
that I accidentally borrowed the CD. I used to play it in my car a lot. And then one day she's like, "Where's my Cure Greatest Hits?" Meanwhile, I'm like, "It's in my car," and she's like, "Really?" So I ended up buying her a new one so I could keep that one.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I guess sort of going off music taste, you did send me like a list of some of your
Yeah.
favorite bands and artists prior to the stream, and there was a lot of alt rock, a lot of pop on
Weird.
there. Like, what's a lot of a lot of various subgenres in those two categories too. So, like, what's the
Yeah.
history there? Like, I guess how did you sort of develop your taste?
Yeah, so I remember like way back with my first little CD player when I was 5. I had a lot of Europop. I mean, living in the UK,
Oh,
especially in the
nice.
90s, it was all about the boy bands, Britney Spears. I listened to a lot of like Steps, and I remember one of my favorite CDs I had was Aqua by Aqua.
Oh yeah, the Barbie
It's
girl
it's
guys.
yes. It's so funny because whenever I bring Aqua up, everyone goes, "Oh, that's so cringe." I'm like, "It's not though. It's so not. They have other songs. They did other stuff." But yeah, I had both of their albums. I used to like play them on repeat like crazy. It used to really bug everybody in the house when I was playing the Aqua CDs because they're like, "This is so annoying." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's glorious. I love it." So I grew up really like obsessed with like top 40 charts and like pop music and things like that. So
Okay.
I guess it was like a mixture of like and then in high school I was an emo. I was in that kind of phase. It was not
Nice.
a phase though. It stuck around. My Chemical Romance is my absolute fave of all time. I
Hell
love,
yeah.
love My Chemical Romance. Gerard Way is a personal hero of mine. I
Mm.
love him so much. I actually had tickets to go see My Chemical Romance in 2023, but unfortunately I was having my thyroid removed.
Oh
So I
no.
literally was in a hospital bed with my neck cut open.
God.
So I gave the tickets to my brother, and he went, and he said it was the best concert of his entire life. So I'm very jealous, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm getting over it eventually. But yeah, like, so I really started in high school getting into like that kind of emo rock stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
a lot of my friends were like metalheads, so I kind of got into that kind of stuff. And I still loved pop music. I still loved top 40. So it's kind of like this weird blend of like I've got like the two sides of like the kind of like the emo rock, metal kind of stuff, and then like the really poppy pop.
Okay.
Um, Yeah.
And that all
Yeah.
naturally dovetails into like, because currently you really like
Yeah.
hyperpop too, and you make sort
I
of music in
love
that
hyperpop.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, I was when you mentioned Aqua, I was thinking, you know, Todd in the Shadows, music critic I love very deeply.
I love
He
him
did.
too.
He did,
Yes.
you know, he did a video on Aqua's Barbie Girl, and he made the point that, you know, they very much were precursors to that sort of very twee, like hyperpop aesthetic.
100%.
You know, like
Yeah.
the 90s sort of like how hard 90s Europop used to go, like
Yeah.
it's
People
it's
are
it's
always so surprised how like deep Europop can go, because like Europop, a lot of people like really think that Europop is just this kind of like very campy, very over the top, and it is. I mean,
right.
we love
Yeah.
campy and over the top, but like at the same time, it's also like I love how hyperpop has kind of turned that kind of almost Europop inspired style and like really flipped it on its head and made it super like emotional and deep and just, you know, it's so cool and I love it. I love it so
Totally.
much.
Hey, Matt Curdy, how's it going? Good to see you. Can you bring up their mic level a bit? You're a bit louder than they are. Oh yeah, sure. I could adjust.
We love audio tech. It's so fun.
Yeah. VTuber scuff is a part of the job. Hey, Pith Boy.
Yeah.
Good to see you. In the top of emo music, I was into early Panic's music.
Oh,
Ooh.
love Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, I am.
Love.
Admittedly, I'm not that familiar with them outside of the stuff that, you know, came on like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or whatever, but their early stuff is very it's very admirable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had their first album, and so I used to listen to it on repeat quite a lot. I remember like way back in like I think it was like 2004, 2005. I had a Walkman, and we used to travel around the country a lot. My mum was doing these conventions. She was running spiritual conventions, and I used to get very bored at these spiritual conventions, so I took my Walkman with me. And I used to have my Panic at the Disco album. I think it's A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. I love that one. I had My Chemical Romance's 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. And I used to just like play those two back to back to back. It was so great. It made car rides very interesting.
Yeah. Honestly, I was too much of a nerd back in the day to be an emo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I liked Fallout Boy or My Chemical Romance tracks when they came on, but I don't know. I never made it a point to dive headfirst into the subculture. I had a few friends who were more emo than I was, but I was very much a dweeb.
It's so interesting too. Like I find it so fascinating to think about now, like how big the emo stuff got at the time, because like I mean, it's so fascinating to me that it became like top 40 hits. I mean, My Chemical Romance used to be top of the charts here in New Zealand all the time. And I guess it's just such a special moment in time that we were all kind of like, yeah, we're all feeling this angst. Let's get it out in an emo rock song. Yeah. Like,
it was.
I remember also the first time I saw like the Helena music video
was
so inspirational to me. It came on the TV. I was so obsessed with that music video that I went out and I found a replica of the dress from the Helena video. I was like, no,
nice.
I have to have this. It's so cool. This is exactly what I want. Yes. So it just became like a whole thing. Like I was so obsessed with it.
Now that really was an interesting moment in like pop rock music history, you know, because it kind of was the last time that like rock music that loud and distorted was like commercially popular on that wide a scale, because after that, immediately after that, you had like all the indie stomp clap hey ho folk songs coming on the charts, and
like the rise of hip hop, and you know,
and it was fucking Imagine Dragons and the dubstepification of rock music, but
I remember when Imagine Dragons was good.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Their first,
really showing my age.
Yeah, their first. I don't know. I remember when their first album came out, and like you had like Demons and Radioactive and all that, and I didn't hate it. I thought it was decent music. And then they kept on releasing shit like that just got worse and worse, and it was like,
Yeah.
man.
It's interesting that a lot of bands swung that way too. Like you saw the same thing with Maroon 5. Their
Oh
early work
yeah.
is really good, and then you get to like the moves like Jackass section, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
They really just Coldplay, like a few bands from the 2000s just
Yep.
went from like alt rock and like sort of cool stuff to really just, poppier than pop.
Yeah, and I mean, I love pop music, but even that, I was like, okay, this is a bit much.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Let's see. Oh, Mac already said I had an extensive newfound glory phase in high school. I never heard of those guys.
Mhm. I
Uh,
think are they a Christian rock band?
They
actually-
might
so
have
fun
been.
story,
I think.
I'm not religious, but
Oh
I
yeah.
used to go to there was a Christian rock festival here in New Zealand called Parachute, and my mum it was the only festival my mum would let me go to because it's a Christian music festival. No one's gonna get hurt there,
Oh
and no one
yeah.
ever does because it's like no alcohol, no drugs. Like they're really strict. They check everyone's bags before you get in. And like,
Yeah.
so it's just a weekend of like hanging out. So that's where I learned about bands like Flyleaf and Skillet. So it's so
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Like now when I bring those bands up in conversation, I'm like, yeah, I like a bit of Skillet and I like a bit of Flyleaf. And everyone's like, really? You? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's surprising, isn't it?
I mean, put aside maybe the politics of some of those bands nowadays. They do they do have some good
Ooh.
hits here or there.
Listen, I'm queer, so I get it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The early stuff, yeah. But this was like 2011, 2010, when, things weren't like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. That also seems to be the case with prog rock musical, I guess, after they recorded close to. Well, see, the thing with progressive rock and commercialization, I find, like, I don't know, at least it still had some sort of. It was largely artistic well up through the late 90s, I'd say, until New Wave really started coming around. Then you had, like, prog rock bands starting to pivot, and then that's how you got, like, stuff like Genesis doing Land of Confusion and That's All, and Yes
Oh my
doing
god, I love that song.
they're Close to the Edge. Well, not Close to the Edge, fucking Owner of a Lonely Heart, and, like, a million other stuff from, like, whatever that their 83 comeback was that was really super big on the charts. Love progressive rock, but I don't know, that stuff can be an acquired taste.
It's funny because like my wife and I have a running joke in my family because my wife is Australian, so when she first moved to New Zealand, we were staying with my mum, and we had this running joke because every Saturday morning my mum would vacuum at like 7 a.m. wake the entire house up, and she'd play very loudly Genesis's album. I can't remember. It's the one with Home by the Sea. Is it Genesis by Genesis? And like all you'd hear is Home by the Sea playing as the vacuum starts going 7 a.m. every Saturday morning, like clockwork.
Awesome.
Because she's autistic, so it would be like her autism was like peaking. She's like, it's Genesis time. I'm like, no.
Oh
my wife's like, we have to move out. Please, babe, we have to move out. I'm like, we really do have to move out, don't we?
Oh, that's awesome. I never got super into, even though I love progressive rock music, like Genesis's discography is one that I never really delved too deep into. I really should fix that at some point. That's Home by the Sea is from Genesis 1983.
Hey, nailed it.
There you go.
Cool.
There you
I
go.
won't get disowned by my mom, thank God.
So how do you discover new artists still? Are you like a Spotify type? Do you use YouTube Music, or like how do you find stuff?
Oh gosh, I mean, it really depends on the day. I'm a big YouTube watcher. I love watching YouTube, and so a lot of the times what will happen is I'll get recommended new artists just on the YouTube recommendation system. I think also because I'm an artist on YouTube, because I have an artist channel on YouTube, they start to recommend me other artist channels, which is very, very cool. It's been really nice to be able to discover like a whole bunch of new artists, especially like I remember, this is not me bragging about this, but it's kind of a humble brag. I remember when Chaperone had 20,000 views on
Oh.
My Kink is Karma, and I remember it getting recommended to me. And I was like, who is this Chaperone person? I listened to her stuff and I was like, this is cool. Then 3 months later, I swear to God, it was like she was the #1 it girl. And I was like, what? Oh my God, I remember her. That's so crazy that this song has blown up. Like,
There you go.
what is happening?
I don't think I...
Yeah, like stuff like that is so cool.
Yeah. I don't think I ever really had a moment like that. I think like the closest I came maybe was like I discovered King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Have you heard of them?
No, but that's
Oh.
a great name.
No, they're fantastic. They're like this Australian psychedelic rock band from Melbourne, and they've been super fucking productive over the past 15 so years of their existence. They put out like 25 something fucking albums, and they tour all the goddamn time.
God.
Yeah,
That's
no,
crazy.
they're great, and I discovered them like I want to say right when they started to blow up. That was like back in 2017, like the first time they put out 5 albums in 1 year. And
5 albums in 1 year.
yes, the first
my
time, mind you.
God.
They did it again in 2022. But
Oh my God.
yeah, no,
That's nuts.
they dropped like 5 albums in that 1 year, and then that was like when the indie presses were really glomming onto their momentum. So like I discovered them in college, and like immediately like the summer after, I think just after I graduated, I went to see them like in Philly, and it was a hell of a fucking gig. I was a convert for life then. Flamethrower! Yes, Pith Boy, thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, speaking of, I guess, discovering new music, though, I relate to your, finding things in the YouTube algorithm. Like, 10 years ago, I want to say, when it started getting really cracked with, like, city pop, that was just an entire fucking rabbit hole for me to fall down, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah. That was a lot like me with K-pop. Like, I'm a big fan of K-pop, and I remember finding it in high school.
Oh, yeah.
A friend of mine was like, oh, do you know about this K-pop thing? And I was like, no. She's like, well, you love Eurovision, so you gotta love K-pop. And I was like, okay, all right. So I went down that rabbit hole, and I was like, wow. So seeing K-pop become as big as it is now has really made my heart very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because way back in high school, I was just like, it was me and my friend just nerding out over this Korean music that everyone else was like, that's weird. Why would you listen to Korean music? And now everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
So it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to see King Gizzard on their Halloween show in 2020. That's fucking dope. That's a funny show. One of their members walked out like in a full-on pimp suit, and it was so funny.
Oh my God.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. Fuck. What were we just talking about? Right? Oh yeah, city pop and
music discovery.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I do think, and this is as somebody who is a music artist, I do think that music discovery is becoming extremely hard.
Oh, yeah.
There is so much music being produced every single day, and I think the pool of music is becoming so deep.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of really good music gets missed. So I do think that if you do find somebody out in the ether that you enjoy, that you really thoroughly support them in every way you can.
Absolutely.
Find their socials, follow them on all their platforms, recommend their music to other people, to other friends and things like that. Because honestly, this is such a lost art that we're losing right now, because algorithms are pushing things in ways of like just showing like the most popular people who are already popular. Like, the best way to grow a music channel these days is to already be popular doing something else, which is such a shame, because we're losing those artists who like are in it for the music. So I mean, definitely like support your faves, because we want them to keep being inspired to make good stuff.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same thing just in general with indie VTubers too, I find.
It's
just
so true.
With how
same deal.
With how saturated the industry is these days, you've got all the corpo VTubers, you've got all the various indie VTubers, you've got like, people in between. It's like, I don't know. It's a good thing that, we live in an age that's so networked and so connected and so like where media production is so democratized that you can you learn a few skills and become a content creator yourself. Well, I hate the phrase content creator,
I know.
but
It's terrible, isn't it? It's funny, as someone who has identified as a content creator since 2017, honestly, I'm so over it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling myself a musical artist, but that sounds so up yourself. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
there's gotta be a better phrase.
No, exactly. It's hard out there.
And you can't tell people you're a VTuber because then people go, what's a VTuber? And you go, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of what you've done, as a VTuber, you've put out a few covers on your YouTube channel so far to date. Which one would you say is your favorite? I mean, feel free to choose multiple if that's a tough one.
See, here's the thing. It's funny because I've put out way more originals than I put out covers. But recently, I'm really in my cover era, and all my producers that I work with are always like, Norma, are you seriously still in your cover era? I'm like, yep. We're still in the cover era, because the thing is with musical covers and being a music artist in the VTubing space, you really have to put out covers to get seen. It's kind of like part and parcel of like the whole vibe now. Unfortunately. And I love doing it, but me in particular, I love making covers that are more original. A lot of people will take the original backing track, and this is no shade to anyone, by the way, because I think singing alone is such a skill and such a talent and art that it's getting that's a skill in itself. So if that's what you do, that's totally cool and totally
right.
But I see a lot of cover artists and VTubers taking just an original backing track from, especially like in the Vocaloid scene, because I love Vocaloid. They'll take the original backing and they'll just sing to it. And for me, I was like, how do I make this a bit more unique and my own? So I love working with producers who want to take that song and kind of like not change it so much that it's unrecognizable, but change it enough to make it a bit more fun and unique. Actually, my favorite cover that I've done so far has not been released yet. And I'm so hesitant to talk about it, but I really want to. I'm gonna do it. I have a cover of a song called Digital Girl by Kira. It's a Vocaloid song. I love Kira. I'm obsessed with their work. They've done songs like Hooked, Ladylike, and this one, Digital Girl. I saw it and I was like, that's the one. And so a producer friend of mine, Broken Screen, and I set to work on that, and that's coming out soon. And the way we've done it is it's very interesting, and I heard the backing and I was like, whoa,
that's awesome.
Cool. So I'm super hyped. I recently also did a cover of Granite by Sleep Token.
Cool.
That was suggested to me by my producer friend Synth Coven. He was like, hey, I know you want to dabble in some rock music, and I was like, I do. And he's like, well, we should test it out with this cover of Sleep Token. Here's their songs, check them out. And I was like, oh wow, they're so cool. So I was torn between Granite and Alkaline. Well, we went with Granite, and I'm honestly really glad we did. I just put that out a few days ago.
Right on.
I'm really proud of it. Yeah, I love it.
This guy giving out cookies only in front of venue. He got some stickers. Some of the awesome. Yeah, I love the Giz fan base and their creative. They make so much fucking bootleg merch. It's wild. Like I went to like when King Gizzard came through my area recently, there was like a whole fan meetup beforehand at some pub, and there were like rows of tables of people selling merch. It was wild.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And then, of course, that was at the beginning of this month, and then later this month I shilled a whole bunch of more money on anime merch, but
the merch, it keeps coming.
Yeah, no, it's
merch.
This is 1 month where I very much feel the whole when you get paid bi-weekly meme of splurging on your interests 1 week and then spending it on ice soup the next.
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, oh, here we go again. It's ice soup time. Num num.
Oh yeah. So like when you select
Mhm.
covers, you did
Yeah.
you mentioned that like you like to make things original with the instrumentation alike, but
Mhm.
like when you select covers, like how do you determine what songs you want to do? Is that just sort of a thing where like you
Mhm.
have a like list of like a wish list of songs you want to do, or is it like something that
Yeah.
comes up in your head every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because, so a little bit of backstory on me. I was corpo for 5 seconds, and when I was in the company, they kept saying to me, "Have you ever looked at anime songs?" And I was like,
Oh, okay.
I've never." Because here's the thing, I've never watched anime.
Oh,
I've never
wow.
seen an anime. I know. Everyone's like, "You're a VTuber who's never watched anime." I'm like, I know. I'm gonna get like paraded through the streets, and that's fair. You should throw shit at me. That's fine. But yeah, like, so I'd never. My wife speaks Japanese. I don't. So like, it was like a whole new world being signed to a JP company where they were like, "Hey, you need to sing anime music. You need to do this." So I was like, "Okay, how do I like get into anime music when I've never seen the anime?" Because my biggest fear is to cover a song from an anime and everyone goes, "Wow, I can't believe you love this anime," and me go, "I've never seen this anime," and they go, "What?" and like
Yeah,
roast me in
yeah.
the comments. So I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out like how I can like have both. My cake can eat it too, you know. So I
Hmm.
started getting into Vocaloids, and I was like, I got way back in 2022, 23. I was really inspired by these Vocaloid producers.
Hmm.
So I started getting like really into that. So I was like, yeah, this is a way that I can appease the corpo gods and also like get to know a little bit of the culture, I guess.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, that's kind of where I started back when I started doing covers because I was like really like, okay, I'm gonna do some Vocaloid covers. I know I'm gonna pick a few that I like. And to this day, I'm still super inspired by Vocaloid.
That's
Love
awesome.
covering Vocaloid. I think the Vocaloid cover community is such a cool community. I would love to be more of a part of it, so I'm really pushing that direction.
Oh.
But when it comes to cover songs, I just kind of go with my gut.
Hmm.
There are certain songs that really speak to me, especially the weird ones. I don't know. It's always like the weird
Yeah,
ones that I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's weird. I like it. Ooh. Like I remember the first time I heard songs like Goddish and King. Even King is so cool. I love King so
Yeah.
much. I covered that recently, and I'm obsessed with that song. It's so fun. Um,
Neat, neat.
but yeah, like stuff like that, I would just kind of like be inspired by, and I'd be like, yes, I love this. I'm gonna practice it. I'm gonna start to learn it.
Hmm.
I come from a singing background. I come from a classical singing background.
Oh, neat.
So I'm so used to taking a song and breaking it down and like really working on it and
Hmm.
working on it and working on it until I get it. So like any song that I just really gravitate towards, I know I'm going to with my ADHD. I'm gonna like focus on it more or be able to practice it more. So yeah, whatever I really kind of like, I'm feeling in the moment is kind of where I go with it. I try
Right.
not to give myself too many rules when it comes to covers. Yeah, I try not
Hmm.
to be too prescriptive, but I also definitely want to find songs that I think will, especially at this point in time, fit my vibe.
Hmm.
Because not every song is gonna be a me kind of song, you know. Like I'm probably not gonna sing a super sexy
Yeah.
Vocaloid anytime soon, but like at the same time, you know, there are certain Vocaloid songs out there that I'm like, wow, this is really up my alley. It's got like a Y2K vibe, or it's got like more of like a hyper poppy vibe. That's kind of what I
Absolutely.
gravitate towards. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult to just nail it down to one or two though,
Oh, I'm
because
sure. Yeah.
ADHD go brr. So yeah, unfortunately, with
Absolutely.
my vocal damage, honestly, if I didn't have vocal damage, man, I'd be pumping out like a cover a week.
Oh
Ugh.
yeah. Oh yeah. Now I as far as Vocaloid's concerned, I never was,
Mm-hmm.
in the fandom, or I,
Yeah.
I don't really know that many Vocaloid tunes, but I really do
Mm-hmm.
appreciate and respect like both the technology behind it and the fandom that goes into it. Because
Yeah.
like Vocaloid fans are some of the most passionate people I have
I
ever
know.
seen. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. My dream is
Uh,
to one day become a Vocaloid. That's like my ultimate goal. Is one day I wanna make a Vocaloid of my voice, especially because like with my I've got muscle tension dysphonia. So basically,
oh yeah.
my vocal muscles squeeze and squish in different places, which means that some days I have a good voice day and some days I don't. So it would be so nice to have that as a backup.
Yeah.
I need it.
Absolutely.
It's like the dream.
By the way, hello, Alt Radio King. Good to see you too. I I appreciate you also loving Giz. What was I gonna say? So, as you mentioned, you've done far more original work by this point, and you, I assume you've written all that yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, I have. Which is, oh man.
How did you get into songwriting?
Yeah. So my first song I ever wrote, I remember I was 14, and I was a very emo teenager with a lot of feelings. So I had a little book that I used to have in my drawer that I used to pen lyrics that I would come up with, and they were all absolutely terrible. And I remember like thinking at the time, like, these are Shakespeare. They were not. So my first song I ever wrote that I showed to other people was back in I think I was 15 years old. I went to an all-girls high school, and we had a rock band at the school, and I had to audition, and I was super nervous, and I botched the audition for the rock band. So the following year I auditioned again. I botched the audition, but this time I talked my way into it. I don't even know how I did it, but like the teacher just really liked me, and he was like, you know what, I see promise in you. You can be the lead singer of the rock band. I was like, yes, cool. Even though I had terrible stage fright, and I used to absolutely botch every live performance because I was so scared. I literally would like freeze up on stage and have a small cry afterwards. It was terrible. So I remember they were like, we're looking for a song. We need an original song. We need someone to write it, and we need it to be you, Norma. And I was like, what? And they were like, yes, it needs to be you. And I was like, okay. So I penned this song. It was terrible. But I remember we would practice it for weeks and weeks and weeks. The first time we went to perform it, I forgot all the lyrics, and we completely like fell flat on our face. It was terrible. And after that, I got fired from the rock band. So they full on were like, you're out. They kicked me out, and I was so upset. I was like, man, this is just clearly, this music thing is not for me. I'm gonna just park it for a while. So back in 2022, I was kind of like in a crossroads for my career. I wasn't quite sure where I was going to take things.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to dabble with this music thing again. I think it's got some legs. You know, I've loved to sing for a while. All around my voice issues, I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna work on some stuff. So I started writing some songs, and I put a couple out, and they did quite well. So I was like, okay, this is promise in here. And then when I was in the Vtuber company, I had a conversation with somebody, and they were like, do you play an instrument? And I was like, no, I never played an instrument in my life, but I love writing songs, and like I've made some demos using things like there's a thing called Soundtrap, where you make like you can make beats out of like loops, and you can put all kinds of stuff together. And I got quite crafty with it, so I was like, oh yeah, it's getting kind of cool. And I showed it to a bunch of people in the company, and they were like, these are awful. And I was like, cool, great. And they absolutely hated everything. So they were like, you cannot release any of these. And I was like, no, oh no. And I was crushed. And so when I left the company, I had this kind of like fire lit under my ass. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a song, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong, because everybody kept telling me these were terrible, and I don't think they are. So let me figure this out, and let me write a song. So way back when I released my first song that did okay on Spotify, I had a producer reach out to me who wanted to remix. And I remember I got a DM on Twitter that she's like, hey, can you send me your vocals? I want to remix your song. And I thought, who the fuck is this? Like, what? Why is this random person asking for my raw vocals? Like, I felt really like, what is happening right now? This is so weird. Turns out that person is now one of my best friends. She's like the most incredible producer ever. Broken Screen. Shout out to Broken Screen. She's incredible. Her and I have done a lot of work together. So anyway, she did this remix. I remember her sending me this remix and me going, oh my God, it's good. It's so good. Like, this is like the most insane thing I've ever heard. And so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to write to some beats. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to work with a producer. So I hit Broken Screen up and I said, hey, I know you're probably really busy, but like, do you want to like do an original song together? And she was like, yes. Immediately, like the response, yes, let's do it. So we
Hell
started
yeah.
working on my first proper single, which is called Dark Desires. And it was that was such a weird process too, because she sent me the track. A lot of the times when I'm working with a producer, what I'll tend to do is I'll write a demo using loops on Soundtrap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll send it to a producer and go, what do you think? Does this have legs? Like, would you want to work on it? And most of the time they'll say yes, which, oh, thank God. It's always the panic when you send someone a demo, because demos are so raw and real, and you don't really want people to be like, no, your work is terrible. I want it to be good. So, yeah, so Dark Desires was different though, because she sent me the track and I wrote to the track. Which was really cool. So I do all the lyrics, and I do the top lining and the melody and all the vocal arrangement. I do that myself.
Okay.
So I'm really proud of that. Top lining is where you write the vocal melody for the song. Basically just like kind of piecing it all together.
Right.
And that was something I was super nervous to do when I first started writing songs, but I think I've gotten a lot more confident in it, and yeah, I've been really enjoying making music. And yeah, and now, I think I've made in the last, because I started officially making music in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and so end of 2023, 2024 officially is when I released my first proper stuff, and yeah, so I think I've made about 25, maybe 30 songs,
Mm-hmm.
and like 50 demos. So, I mean, it's been a lot, but
Yeah,
it's so exciting.
I'm looking on your
doing it.
Spotify right now. You've got quite a few. You got like one album and
lot.
like quite a
I've
few
got
singles.
Well, technically we have 2 albums now. We have the regular and the deluxe.
Oh,
The deluxe
okay.
came out recently. I'm so proud of that.
Awesome.
My album was such a joy to make.
Hell
I
yeah.
loved making the whole thing. It's very conceptual. It's a lore album, so it's based on my Vtuber lore, which is actually my IRL lore. I unfortunately had a pretty big loss, a family loss in 2023, which
I'm
inspired
sorry.
the album. So my granddad died, and him and I were really close, and I remember visiting him in the hospital before he died. Sorry, this is getting real dark, but
It's fine.
it has a happy ending, I promise. And I remember saying to him, I was like, I'm really torn about what to do about my music. And I remember he said to me, he was like, whatever you do, Norma, you need to be happy. And
Aw.
I'm proud of you regardless. And I was like, oh God, that sucks. Because that gave me, and I said to him, Granddad, no, tell me what to do. And Granddad's like, nope, you know what to do. And I was like, no, why? Okay. So I wanted to tell the story of like, I guess his life, like honor his memory, but also like use it to kind of tell my stories that I had to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like deep cuts on the album, and some of the album I thought before I released it, I was like, man, some of this probably shouldn't come out, but you know, I'm really happy it did, and I'm so chuffed that so many people out here have listened to the album and enjoyed the album. And my favorite thing is when people tell me about like moments of their connection to the songs. There's some songs on there that are really hard for me, like the title track Barry is about my granddad, and it was so hard to write. It was the first song we wrote. It was really hard to write. It was really hard to record, really hard to finish. But at the same time, when I put it out, people were like, I lost a family member too, and telling me all their stories, and it was just such a cool moment of like connection with people.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I love how music can bring people together like that. Yeah.
No, I love
It's so
connecting
cool.
with people through art. It's incredible. And
Yeah,
you know, like
it is so cool.
looking at the sort of ParaNorma radio audio generated on your profile, it seems like you're doing something right, because it's pairing you alongside Bao and Numi and those sorts. So
I know. I remember when I started putting out my music on Spotify, and it started like being like, you were recommended next to all these big VTubers. I was like, wow.
Hell yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's huge for me. And the thing is, like, I'm not a big artist by any stretch of the imagination. I keep saying to people, I'm a real small bean in a really big pond. But at the same time, I think, and this goes to any small artist out there, you really just got to try.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and it's not always about the numbers and the clicks and the views. It's about like, did you enjoy what you made, and do you like
Yeah.
what you make, and are you proud of it? Because that's all that matters, and I'm so proud of that album. Most people hate their debut album, is what I keep getting told. Especially you see interviews with like proper, like real musical artists who say, I hated my debut album. I sung a bunch of songs that I didn't write and I didn't like, and it's just not for me. I love my first album. Everything was just, it's so personal, yet so, it's so fun. I love it. And I love that other people love it.
That's great.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's your favorite song you've written, and why is it Monster Fucker?
Oh gosh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the Monster Fucker EP is that has a fun story actually.
Oh yeah.
So before I released the album, I was like, I really want to do this EP, and one day, and I'm asexual, so like this is
Right.
kind of ironic that it's called Monster Fucker, because that's not me at all.
Oh yeah.
So I made this tweet, this really dumb tweet that was like, hey, I wrote this song, but for some reason it's termed really sexy, and it's about a vampire, and I'm like, do I release it? And everyone's like, yes. And I was like, okay. And they're like, I'm like, what should I name the EP that this is going to be on? And everyone's like, you should call it Monster Fucker. And I was like, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And the
hell
irony
yeah.
is, the vampire song that inspired the EP is not even out on the EP. I hated it so much, I ended up not releasing it. So that's a demo that just stays in the vault. Thank God. 'Cause it's cringe.
Okay. That's
But
that's fine.
I loved that EP was so fun to make. So the songs that ended up on the EP, I still like. Beam Me Up is one of my most controversial songs because everyone seems to love it, and I personally hate it. It's a song about aliens, and like sexy aliens, and I was like, this is
Hell
like
yeah.
so cringe. But people seem to like it for some reason. And my wife, I quote my wife on this. I remember playing it for her for the first time, and she said, "It's so cringe. Like, I hate how much I like this. Like, I really hate how much I like this." I was like, "Oh no." But we got Haunting out of it, and Haunting is honestly like one of my favorite songs I've ever made.
Hell yeah.
That's a Broken Screen production. I sent her this demo of me singing just that verse part at the beginning, and it sounds very similar to the actual track right at the beginning. And there's a beeping in it, and that little beep in the background is actually a submarine sonar.
Oh.
And I remember being on Soundtrap, and I was like, I need this, like, I really am looking for this like really cool, catchy, like little blippy bloopy sound. And then I was like, okay, let's check the sound effects section, and they had this sonar, and I was like, oh. So I looped this sonar, and I'm really glad it stayed in, because it's just such a unique kind of feature that just really gives it such a vibe.
Yeah.
And it's not a sexy song at all. It's actually like a more of a breakup song. But I love how it ties everything I love. It's kind of a little bit rock, a little bit pop. It's very like, it's got a spooky vibe to it, and
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, it's so fun, and dark and cool, and it's got this really fun like breakdown that Broken Screen created. And I remember hearing the breakdown for the first time and going, this is insane. Like, it
Hell
feels
yeah.
like you're having a panic attack, and I love that.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So you've had quite a few karaoke streams. How do those usually
Yeah.
go? Do you pick set lists ahead of time? You take requests from the crowd, or do some sort of combination of both?
Yeah, it was so funny. I was actually at my mum's house yesterday, and I said to her, I'm doing a karaoke tonight. And she's like, so you've picked out all your songs, right? And I said, no. And she goes, what? She's like, if it was me, I would have picked out all the songs. I'm like, yeah. But I got ADHD, and I kind of go on vibes. One time I was told, I did a karaoke relay for the first time this year, and I was told,
nice.
you must pick the set list ahead of time. Please pick the set list ahead of time. Because I think they probably had some strange feeling that I was going to be a chaotic gremlin about it and just kind of go on vibes, which is kind of what happens. I just kind of sing what I feel like singing.
Right.
I love taking requests from the crowd when I can. Unfortunately, a lot of the time people are throwing me names of songs I've never heard, so I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know. But, it's always fun when, you can pull the crowd in and get everybody involved. And because I'm an old lady, I have a lot of old lady tastes, so I do a lot of A lot of deep retro cuts from the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s, which I guess is now old too. So sad. But yeah, like I love singing whatever I kind of feel like on the time. The problem I have with karaoke streams is I can't do them that often because of obviously like singing live for me has become increasingly hard since my surgery. However, you know, I do my best and it's something I still love to do. And so it always makes me super appreciative when people do show up for the karaoke streams. Because they're so fun. It's just a fun time, you know?
Yeah. No, I've been meaning to try and have my own karaoke streams at some point. I just need to figure out the logistics of, you know, making sure that I'm singing on the beat and, you know, making sure that my VODs are... you know, they go somewhere. I mean, I'm not sure. Well, to be honest, I don't really care about my channel's monetization to begin with. Any money I make on Patreon. You know, I view this more as a hobby. So like, But like at the same time, like I don't know. I feel like having like a karaoke VOD on my channel could eventually maybe give major labels a reason to give my channel a copyright strike. So I've had that sort of fear in the back of my head of not wanting to do that.
Touch wood, I've not had a copyright strike yet. But you do get like what is it called? Like the monetization sharing and things like that.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and this is something I will say to anyone who wants to do karaoke streams and or covers on your channel. Expect all of your covers to be not monetized. That's also another reason why, and this is something that I do, and I don't think a lot of other artists do this. It's probably really stupid on my part, but I like doing it because it makes me feel good that people can do this. So I have not copyright struck any of my music except for one of my songs, Dark Desires. That was a choice after Dark Desires video came out because I really got frustrated with posting my own video to my own song and getting not a copyright strike, but like a copyright like a claim. Where they were like, oh, you have to do the thing. And I was like, I just can't be bothered jumping through these hoops. So I stopped copyright thingy my videos on YouTube. So if anybody wants to use any of my music for streaming purposes, for content purposes, they are more than welcome to do so. The only thing I ask is that people credit me. So as long as you credit the song and credit me and the producers, that's cool. You can use it. I've always been a real proponent of like music should be available and out there and be able to be used in content. I guess because I'm a content creator first, like coming from a content background, it's always so frustrating having to jump through so many hoops to get copyright free and royalty free music.
Absolutely.
Especially when even you can get apps now where you say, oh, it's copyright free, it's fine, and then one day it just becomes not fine. So it really frustrates me.
Especially when you got AdSense spots going out there and trying to claim songs that are like royalty free. That is the most annoying shit.
Oh my god. Do you know, I was playing Spyro. Gateway to Glimmer, and I remember my live stream got copyright struck, and I was like, what? And the copyright claim came from, and it wasn't from the music rights holder. It was from some guy who went on DistroKid and uploaded all the tracks to Spyro games and like claimed them as his own. It's so frustrating when people do that.
What the hell?
Like, that really bugs me. I know. I literally had I remember at the time I shot a message to a bunch of like my team and I was like, hey team, what do I do about this? And they're like, we don't know. And I was like, cool, great, awesome. Never playing Spyro again, I guess. One of my favorite games. Guess not.
I believe the good Stuart Copeland should kill that guy on the spot.
Yeah. Oh man, Stuart Copeland should just get in contact with him and be like, hey, you owe me money.
It's so wild to me how he went from being like one of the greatest drummers in like punk and new wave playing for the Police to composing the entire soundtrack for like the original Spyro games. I love
that. Me too. I love people who delve into other genres and other topics, and especially in the gaming sphere, because you know I think game soundtracks are so underrated by people. Like the music industry kind of looks down on them, but I guess it adds credence and credibility to it. So it's so cool. Mm.
Yeah, actually, kind of going off of that, apart from karaoke, what do you best like to stream? Are you primarily like a
Gosh.
gamer or?
Hmm. It really depends, because unfortunately, I'm at this point not able to stream as much as I'd like to.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
streaming is really hard on. It's hard on the voice. So,
Yeah.
talking for 3 hours. I remember, I went to speech therapy
Oh,
last year,
yeah.
and my speech therapist was like, "Hey, so how often do you use your voice?" And I was like, "Well, I'm live streaming like 3 times a week, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
streaming for like 3 hours." And she's like, "Oh, so you're a high voice user, huh?" I was like, "Is that what that? Am I a high voice user?" She goes, "Yes, you are, and you need to train yourself like a vocal athlete." And I was like, "Oh no." So VTubers, if you're out here and you're streaming more than 3 hours, 3 times a week or more, please train your voice and take care of your voice, because it's all we got out here, and it's very. You
Absolutely.
need to protect that stuff, please.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we were training real hard for it.
I remember, what
Like
was it?
games. Yeah.
Oh, cool, yeah. I remember, like, last year I did, like, a 12-hour charity stream. And this is, keep in mind,
Oh gosh.
I used to be more of a variety streamer and stream more times per week, and I guess my voice was kind of used to it, but, like, I did that 12-hour charity stream, and the next day I was just completely fucking shot. It was
Yeah.
awful.
That's something else. I've only done 1 or 2 12-hour streams in my life. I did a donathon this year.
Oh, yeah.
This year? Yeah, it was. Did a donathon this year. I wanted to save money for my surgery that I need to get. I need to get my tonsils removed. Yay. So I was like saving money for the surgery, and I did I did a weekend of 12-hour streams. So I think it was 36 hours worth of streams. 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours, and I was like, nah, after that, nope. Never again. Never again.
Yeah,
It's hardcore. It's really hardcore.
it sucks. I would do it for charity, but
Yeah.
if I were to normally do that for like a
No.
VTubing career, I don't know. I do not think that would be worth it.
I have a lot of friends who stream basically like 6-hour days most days, and honestly, oh, my hat goes off to them, because they work so hard. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, I see some of the fucking streamers in the corporal world, like Korone for one, but also like in like Niji Sanji En, like fucking Scarla Yonaguni. Every fucking day she streams like
Yeah.
6 or however many hours beyond that, and it's like, Jesus
Wild.
Christ, girl, rest.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate too, because you see a lot in the VTubing scene of people who have voice issues.
Yeah.
I really feel for them, because it is. People say that streaming that long is not physically demanding, but it is so
It
physically
is,
demanding.
yeah.
So like, yeah, it's crazy.
But you, how to say, when you stream games, what is your favorite game to stream? I know I saw on your Twitch you said you like platformers.
Yes, I love platformer games. I grew up as a PlayStation girl. I grew up on Spyro and Crash and all of that good stuff. So yeah, kind of like, I love to play nostalgic, really crappy platformers. like from like, like old school. I love an old school PlayStation game. I've been rediscovering some of my old classic favorites recently. Even like really terrible games that no one's heard of, like Muppet Monster Adventure. One of my favorite games of all time. It's it's a terrible, like Spyro-esque platformer based on the Muppets.
Oh, hell
and the
yeah.
Muppets are all monsters now, and it's so fun, and it's so terrible. And every time I bring it up, everyone's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out." So that kind of stuff.
Honestly,
I love retro vibes. Yeah, I wasn't
Honestly-
a Nintendo girl growing up, but I have made up for it by playing them now.
Honestly, licensed shovelware back then was so fucking
Yeah.
peak. Like,
So good.
it was
So good. There
it
was
was great.
so much good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying to people, I'm like, I feel like old lady yells at cloud because I'm constantly like, they don't make video games like they used to in my day. And everyone's like, you're so old. I'm like, I know. I know.
Oh my god. At least the garbage back then was delicious garbage. At least now
I know.
at least we didn't have to pay for additional microtransactions on top of
I
the
know.
base game.
I said to my wife the other, my wife trained as a game dev. She's a software engineer. And so I'm like to her, I'm like, man, remember when they used to give you the whole game instead of having to pay extra to play the whole game? And she's like, yeah, we should bring that back. I was like, we really should. Yeah.
Oh my god. Nori in chat being like 6 hours is rookie numbers. I completely forgot. Nori is a fucking beast when it comes to fucking streaming. She regularly goes like fucking 10 hours on her mixing streams, on her RuneScape streams. Girl, I do not know how you have the stamina.
Nori, you're a legend.
She's great. What was I gonna say? There's Sean that comes from that era of platforms. Oh yeah, I agree. I love like old school, I guess N64, GameCube platformers. Like, I saw on your fucking your Twitch, you said you had completed Banjo-Kazooie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I haven't completed it. I've 3 VTuber personas down, never finished Banjo-Kazooie. The fans are still waiting. They're sitting out here. They're like, the ghosties are gonna roast me at some point if I never finish that game. Because I'm just like, I'm holding out. I nearly got really close one time. When I was corpo, we got right to the end. We got to the last battle, and I remember I think it was like 5 hours into beating Gruntilda. I just went, I can't do it, and everyone went, it's okay. I was like, my thumbs. I have carpal tunnel in my hands. At this point, I'm like playing the game with like both of my thumb braces on, like, like I can't do it, and they're like, it's okay, we understand.
Oh Lord.
But one day, maybe we will. Maybe, who knows? In the next 5 years, maybe we'll finish it.
Hey, yeah. No, I fucking love Banjo-Kazooie. I grew up with that and DK64 and like those sorts of old Rareware games. Like the Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh my god. Love those games.
I nearly finished Grabbed by the Ghoulies, and honestly, that's kind of been a dream of mine for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing the ad for Grabbed by the Ghoulies on TV when it first came out on the original Xbox, and I begged my mom. I was like, please, please let me have this game, Mom. And she's like, okay, we'll get it. And I remember playing it for like 5 minutes and being like, this isn't a platformer game, and then stopping playing it. So when I first debuted my new model, I was like, I really want to play Grabbed by the Ghoulies, and it was so fun to like experience that properly. For the first time, because I think like way back in the day when you're a kid, you know, you remember things a certain way, but it's so different now as an adult to like revisit that and see all like the good, the bad, you know, the glitchy. It's so fun. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like I'm such a Banjo fan, but I'm also such a late bloomer for that, because like I only discovered Banjo-Kazooie in 2020. That was a lockdown thing. I was bored during the lockdown, and I was like, because New Zealand lockdown, we locked down hard, fast, and long. So like we were like 6 weeks into a lockdown, and we literally were not allowed to do anything. They were like, you stay in your home. No fast food places were open. The supermarket, you had to queue up for like 4 hours to get your supermarket groceries. It was insane. But anyway, so like, we were so bored. We were like, what do we do? And so one day I was like, oh, there's this thing on the Xbox Live Store called I think it's like the Rareware Bundle or something. And it's like, yeah, they did the Rare Replay, and they had like all the different Rare games. And I was like, oh, there's this thing called Banjo-Kazooie. I've heard about it. I've never played it. Shall I play it? All right, let's give it a go. And I remember playing it for 5 minutes and going, this is terrible. I don't know if I like this. And then I kept playing and kept playing. And the deeper I got in, the more I was like, actually, I've changed my mind. I think I really like this.
There you go.
And then I started playing Banjo-Tooie, and I hated Banjo-Tooie. And then I was like, I hate Banjo-Tooie. And then recently I played it on stream, and I was like, oh, you know what? I've changed my mind. Damn it. I've been conned into Banjo-Tooie. I like Banjo-Tooie now. Damn it. So good. But yeah, like, and then Conker's Bad Fur Day. I've been recently I did a stream. I say recently, it was like 6 months ago now. We were playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, and that I'm really surprised by. Not only how they got away with such lewd content in a seemingly what looks like a kids game, because it's not a kids game, absolutely not. It brought me my love of I love South Park and things like that. So it was just like it really got me there. It was like imagine South Park with a platform. I was like, this is like really me. And I kind of love it. Yeah.
See, I never played Conquer back in the day. I mean, I was way too young when I owned a 64. So like,
it is really graphic.
Yeah. I don't know. One of these days I'll have to play it. I've heard nothing but great things.
You should. I mean, for the singing piece of poo alone, you should play it. It's an experience. Yeah. I had people in the chat trying to sing along to the singing piece of poo, and I was like, what is my life right now? This is what I do.
That's
I can't
awesome.
believe I do this for a living. Wow.
What was I gonna say? So do you have a favorite video game OST?
Oh, favorite video game OST. Oh, that's tough. I guess one that always sticks in my brain is I remember the first time I ever was like, oh wow, I like this music is the Spyro Get With a Glimmer soundtrack is such a rock. Yeah. There's some classic jams in there, and humming along to them all the time is so good. The only problem I have is when it comes to video game OSTs, I'm one of those people who's like, I love music, I love the soundtracks, they get stuck in my head so much, but after a while, I mute them and put my own music on in the background, and everyone's like, you what now?
I mean, I get it.
When I'm streaming, sometimes it's the first time I've ever heard a piece of music from a video game like that before, because I used to sometimes just immediately mute it. I remember I was playing, what is it? Spyro Enter the Dragonfly on PS2, and I used to play that so much as a kid, and I was the only person I think who thought that game was good. Everyone else knew it was terrible. Me, I was like, no, it's good. No, maybe it's just the coke. I was huffing the copium too hard, and it was like, this is a good game, I swear, I needed this. But I remember I've never heard the soundtrack to it because I used to immediately mute the television and put on a Brooke Fraser CD or something in the background. Hilary Duff CD. I used to play that on replay while I was playing some Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. That was pretty good.
I mean, I'll say this. I can relate to that feeling. At least I'm a huge fan of roguelikes. So sometimes with roguelikes, I'll have run them so much and gone through all the different floors and listened to all the soundtracks so much that I'm kind of okay, I need to listen to something else, so I'll mute the soundtrack and I'll put on some other external music. But I don't know. I don't do that as a default. These days I'm more I've been playing a lot of Yarg, Yet Another Rhythm Game. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a fan-made Rock Band Guitar Hero clone. And
oh, really?
yeah, it's been great. And I've just been, I don't know, I've been vibing out a lot more to I guess more real music than per se listening to video game soundtracks these days, but
I used to love Guitar Hero so much.
Oh,
it was
such
one of
a
my favorite
fun
games.
franchise.
And SingStar. Oh man, some of those music games used to be so good. So good.
I was
actually played a game. I don't know if you know it. Oh, were you?
I was a huge Guitar Hero Rock Band fan back in the day.
Which was your favorite one? Did you have a favorite?
I would say Rock Band 2 probably is the one that I have the most fond memories of, because that was back in the day where Xbox and Xbox Live and PlayStation, I forget what the live service for that was called, but they had a mode on the online there where you could pair up with a bunch of other online musicians and be in bands and stuff. Wow. And you can compete in these battle of the bands that Harmonix, the makers of the game, set up every week, where you play a set list of some of the songs or whatever, and try to compete for high scores. So and me and a bunch of friends, we'd always try to go for high scores on certain songs too. It was I have a lot of fond memories associated with that.
Oh, that's so cool. I remember the last time I played a Guitar Hero game was Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
real like obscure one, but it's like a it's almost like a fantasy-based D&D kind of
Yeah.
Guitar Hero. So each level you're trying to like unlock the inner heart of like the demon power of this
Yeah.
warrior of rock or whatever. And it was I thought the theming was so cool. Plus the soundtrack was like all my favorite stuff.
Oh
It had like
yeah.
lots of Linkin Park and My Chemical Romance. It had some like Rammstein and like things like that. So I was just like, oh, this is so
Yeah.
cool.
I
This
regret
is great soundtrack.
honestly that I never got the chance to really try Warriors of Rockin' back in the day. By that
Yeah.
point, I mean just like there were so many fucking Guitar Hero games getting released every other
So
month.
many.
And it was like
Yeah.
I don't know, I just completely tuned out of that series after a certain point and became more of a Rock Band
I
guy.
Yeah, I think so many people did too. Like, it's so hard to watch too because it's like they started pumping out so many games. I think we just all got fatigued,
Yeah.
which is such a shame because there's like that is like such a hidden gem amongst like the rest of it.
It's such a fun
And it
concept
really
for a
felt
rhythm game.
classic. Yeah, right. I love
I mean,
it.
just like
Although I
five
used
fret
to go
guitar
through plastic
controllers.
guitars like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only problem. We all used to slam that Guitar Hero controller so hard that like after all, especially like my brother Frankie,
Oh yeah.
he plays actual guitar now, but I remember back in the day he used to really ruin our guitar and I'd be like, Frankie, no! He'd be like slamming that thing. I'm like, oh, we're not gonna have a guitar after this.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they
No, it's
broke so easily.
the struggle. Yeah, these days I got this one controller that was released recently. I don't know. It's like called the PDP Riffmaster, and it was made I think for Fortnite
Yeah.
Festival. Like you know,
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard like the makers of Rock Band. They later got basically swallowed up by Epic Games and sent to the Fortnite mines. But out of that
Really?
we got like
no.
Fortnite Festival, and I mean I haven't played it myself, but it's basically the sort of modern incarnation, I guess, of Guitar Hero Rock Band or whatever.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to do a Guitar Hero stream, but like I feel like you'd be like immediately copyright struck to oblivion.
yeah. That
I
is
actually,
the. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I actually played I don't know if you've ever heard of the preamble to Guitar Hero, but there's a game called Amplitude.
Oh
and it came
yeah.
out for the PS2, and it's like a real classic. And what you used instead of like the Guitar Hero guitars, you had each different track. You had like a little imagine like
Right.
a little spaceship. And then you had 3 different buttons on it that were I like to trigger mine on the trigger buttons. You
Yeah.
could have like X, triangle, and square or whatever. And then you have to go through track by track and unlock each track. And every time you broke a track down, it like this is the drums, this is the synth, this is the vocals,
Yeah.
this is the guitar. So you're basically building the song as you go. I did one stream of that. I love it so much. I did a stream of it,
Yeah.
and I remember after the stream, I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt. And you watch all the copyright claims come in. And
Oh
they
my God.
roll in.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, delicious, yum yum. But honestly, I highly recommend. Like, it's such a underrated game that every time I bring it up, no one's ever heard of it. But my brother and I don't know. Like, my mum bought it for us way back in like the early 2000s, and we used to play it obsessively before we became Guitar Hero fans.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's such a it was really ahead of its time. You're right. It's just one of these games that's just it's a time capsule in
Yeah.
like music. But there's some really good songs on it too.
Yeah.
I like
No,
that.
I think it's really cool because like Harmonix would later take that same concept and then put it into like the Rock Band series. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Exactly.
Rock Band Blitz. That was a really fun fucking
No.
game. Yeah, it was basically this, actually not just Rock Band Blitz, but I think there was like Rock Band Unplugged too, or whichever the one was for the PSP. Because it basically took like the gameplay of Amplitude and translated it into like sort of the Rock Band style, where like you'd have like
that's
these
so
you'd have these
cool.
different tracks that you'd like alternate between and like have to chain up your combo that way.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I actually what do you call it? I ticked off a bucket list goal of mine actually in 2024.
Oh, cool.
One of my songs got in a rhythm game.
Oh, hell
And it's
yeah.
so exciting. Yeah, I know. I don't talk about it a lot because it's just one of those things that kind of just happened, and it's kind of hard to access. It's a phone app game. It's called
Oh,
Elia.
okay.
And it is I think it's a Korean or Japanese-based company. I remember seeing them on Twitter one day, and they were like, "We're looking for artists and VTubers who want to be part of our game." And I was like, "Yup, this is my literal dream. Hello!" And then they picked a song of mine. It's called "I'm the Villain." And the funny thing is, "I'm the Villain," the original track had a swear in it. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, well, they're not allowed swearing in their video games. So I was like, we're going to make a clean version specifically for the
Hell
game.
yeah.
So the clean version only exists because we wanted it in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So we started chatting to them about it, and yeah, it was so cool. It was such a cool opportunity to just get to be involved in it, you know. And it's not something I don't think it's a very popular game, but I think it's just so cool that they were willing to take a chance on independent artists. So yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's always
And I love video games and I love music, so
Yeah, I always love seeing when like a VTuber has got like one of their songs in a rhythm game, because you know,
I know.
that VTuber probably like 20 years before was inspired to go on some sort of track by like dancing to fucking Butterfly on the hardest difficulty in DDR, and now they get that opportunity to be that song.
I love that you bring up Butterfly. That's so funny. Oh, what a jam.
That is the DDR song that I always associate with that series.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Oh, it's a bop.
Yeah. So, have you gone to very many concerts? Rap, rock, idol pop, otherwise?
Yep. Okay, so recently, no. Unfortunately, I haven't been to a concert in a really long time. The last concert I went to, I think I was 18.
Okay.
Oh, it was a long time ago. But it's funny because all of my concert going time was like in my like teenage years. I was really fortunate that in the city redacted that I live in.
Yeah.
We had this weird teenage metal emo club. It sounds so weird thinking about it now that I was like, there was literally a nightclub for children in the middle of town. But what it was it was called Chaos, and imagine this underground like rock club, and what it had is you'd walk in and there would be a counter where you buy your tickets, and there'd be energy drinks instead of alcohol behind the bar.
Hell yeah.
Teenagers. And there'd be like water and stuff like that, and like you could buy like gummy bears and things like that in the thing, and there'd be some guy in skinny jeans and like a band t-shirt behind the counter. This must have been, oh my god, 2009 or something. So we'd go into town on a weekend, and it would be a Saturday night, and we'd all be like 15, 16.
Yeah.
We'd be in there, you'd get your stamp, you'd go in and you'd watch the local terrible bands that all your friends were in perform some terrible songs that they've written themselves. Normally in the metal genre. It was also the first time I ever saw a mosh pit.
Oh,
and
hell
there'd be
yeah.
like 25, 30 people in there, and they'd start a mosh pit, and we'd all get on there'd be like chairs on the outskirts of where like the crowd is in the middle, and we'd all stand on the chairs so we could see what was happening on this teeny tiny little stage. The worst part was actually the toilets were right next to like behind the stage, so to get to the toilets you'd actually have to walk up this walkway which we just ran basically like parallel to the stage.
Oh lord.
So you'd be like, it was super embarrassing. And then somebody painted a magic mushroom mural on the wall. The club got shut down after about 3 years because I'm pretty sure they were taking drugs in the back room.
Oh
and
dear.
Somebody said there was a rumor that the green room had one-way mirrors in it, so anyone who was stood on the little side stage could like basically be seen from the green room. Yeah, it was like super sketch. And like thinking about it now, it's like, wow, this was like the sketchiest thing that any of our parents let us do. But our parents are like, it's a cool club and we know where they are on the weekend, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to go down there all the time and like listen.
Yeah.
And that was like my first time watching a live band play. And I remember at the time we just felt so cool because we're like, we're like in high school and like all our friends are in bands. And like, you know, at the time I was like dating my brother's friend who was like the bassist in a band. So it was like a whole situation. Yeah, and
Right.
I remember thinking like, man, these songs are terrible, but it's so cool. And like I used to watch all these bands and be like, man, one day that'd be so cool to be on the stage like that.
Yeah.
Um, it really kind of like spurred my love for like live music. Live music is so special.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the biggest thing I went to was Parachute. It was a concert that used to happen in a place called Hamilton
Oh, okay.
in New Zealand. So they had this thing called Mystery Creek. It
Mm.
sounds so like, ooh, Mystery Creek. It's not. It's a giant field. It's just basically a mass amounts of farmland with one big like expo center in the middle, and then just masses of field. The problem is Mystery Creek is in layers. So to get to Mystery Creek, you have to drive down a hill to get to the
Oh,
first
yeah.
paddock. Then you have to drive down, like to get to the furthest paddock, you have to go down like 2 other hills. So it's like down a hill, down a hill, down a hill. And the first year I went, we were in what was known as the family area. So we had a tent, because you stay all weekend in a tent.
Mhm,
So we had our
mhm.
tent, and it was me and a couple of my friends, and we we're having a good time in our tent, and it's all good. And then all of a sudden, on the Sunday night, the clouds just go black, and the whole thing floods.
Oh my God.
And because in the family area, we were down a hill, down a hill, down a hill. We were so far into the valley that like the entire tent started getting flooded. So I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I'm stuck in Mystery Creek and the tent is flooding. And he's like, I'm coming to get you right now. So we missed out on the rest of the weekend because the tent flooded. The funniest part was I was on social media after that, and this is like early days of Twitter and early days of YouTube, and people were sending me YouTube videos of people using the mud as like a slip and slide. Using their
No.
tents that have been flooded as slip and slide. I'm sitting there going, that's so gross. Oh my
Oh my
god,
God.
no. And so so the second year I went was so much better because we were more prepared. The first festival you go to is always going to be a shit show because you never know what to bring. You're always like, it's summer, and summer in New Zealand is hot. There's never any
Right.
shade. So you don't bring enough water, you don't bring enough food, you don't bring enough sunblock, and you just end up horribly burned, but having the best time of your life. And that first festival, actually, before the rain started, I saw a band called Family Force 5. They were really good. I thought they were amazing. They were so good. But I remember my friends and I, we managed to get front row, and in the biggest part of the venue, and there was 25,000 people. So what would happen is we waited for hours for our spot, and the second the lanes opened, we ran and we grabbed hold of the bar at the front, because when you have a big concert, they have like the big bar at the front where they've like security and stuff, and there's the stage. So we're right by the stage, center, middle, like holding on for dear life.
Oh,
Hooked
jeez.
our arms into this thing, and it started off fine until I remember when Family Force 5 came on. I was so excited to see them, but my God, the pressure, you could just feel the squeeze from behind you. And it's just like, you've never been in so much pain in your life when you're like shoved up against like this metal bar and you're holding on for dear life. And everyone around you is like, do you need to go over the bar? I'm like, no, I'm staying here. I'm having the best time. Shush. And the worst part was, I was saying to my wife the other day, when you go to a concert like that, when it's so packed in, you put your arms up to be like, yeah, and you can't put them back down because there's so many people. You're so squished in. You're like, my arms are up now. So my arms have been up now for 2 hours, and they're really sore, but I'm having a great time. Yeah.
I don't think that's what they
also-
meant by put a little love in it.
Yeah. We also saw a band called Switchfoot. They were there that weekend.
Yeah.
And they were one of the biggest bands. They were like the headliner. So we were front row at Switchfoot.
Right.
And they gave people in the crowd, they handed out these ginormous plastic glow sticks.
Mhm.
And at one point, during one of their big popular songs called I Dare You to Move, they were like, throw them on the stage. So people just started throwing these glow sticks on the stage.
God.
And it was just a rainbow. The problem is, being at the front, you got hit by a few. So it was just, Love Addict. Yes, that's one of my favorites too. But it was just like, we would throw the people were throwing these glow sticks on the stage, and it looked amazing until you started getting pummeled with them, and you're like, yeah, this sucks. But also, wow, so cool.
Oh my gosh.
This is a Christian music festival. Yeah, Parachute was a Christian thing. I'm not religious in any way. All my friends are super religious, so I kind of just tagged along. I was like one of those people. I was like, I'm not religious, but I'll come along. I like an experience. I'll see what happens. And then, the second year I went, the year after, I was super prepared. We'd paid for a premium tent accommodation just in case it rained.
Oh, yeah.
So now we were in like the luxury area where it won't flood. Even if it rains, no flooding here. So, and that year I got to see a New Zealand band called lmao. They're a very famous New Zealand band. They're like one of the most famous New Zealand bands outside of like Crowded House. And I remember there was a huge, all my religious friends were super upset with me because I was super hyped to see them. And all of them were like, they're not even Christian. Why are they even here? Because they're cool. That's why. I'm going to go see them. And I had a great time.
There you
They
go.
have a very popular song in New Zealand called 1157 that was like all over the radio here in New Zealand back in the 2000s. And it's so cool. And I loved seeing them live.
Hell yeah.
I got to see Flyleaf was supposed to be there. They didn't make it. But I got to see Skillet live. And that was very impressive. There was a lot of pyrotechnics. There was a guy who was the bassist from Korn. I think his name's like Brian Head or something.
Oh, yeah.
He performed with his band that year. And that year was the only time I've ever felt unsafe at a concert because I wasn't front row this time. I was about third or fourth row. And you were kind of caught in the sea of people. And it was like
Oh my God.
every metalhead in the country just divulged on this one area and they were being very rough about it. So
Oh
you
my
were getting like
God.
shunted, and every time they saw a girl in the crowd, they're like, get her out. I'm like, no,
Oh
I
my-
am not leaving. Here I am in a My Chemical Romance t-shirt going, I'm not leaving. You cannot make me leave. I luckily wore my heaviest boots that I had, that's like steel cap Doc Martens. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stomp on their foot a little bit. If
Oh
they
my
come near
God,
me,
yeah.
you're going to get stomped. I'm sorry. Because they would be elbowing girls and they'd be pushing girls over the edge. And you're like, oh my God, this is getting crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was nuts. And then I remember afterwards, somebody on the bleachers told me, did you see the mosh pit? And I was like, what mosh pit? And they're like, yeah, right behind you. They started like a circle.
Oh my
Basically
God.
became a whirlpool in the middle
Hell
of the thing. I was
yeah.
like, that's nuts. That is
Circle
so
pit.
nuts. I did not see that circle pit, no. But somebody else was like, I saw it, I filmed it, do you want to see it? And I was like, oh my God, no. Yeah, Corn Guy to Christian. Yeah, it's so funny because I was like, why is a Corn
Yeah, I
Guy to
think-
Christian thing?
Yeah, I think
Apparently,
Brian was a born
yeah.
again Christian at some point.
Yeah, and it was just after he started his Christian band, his like Christian hardcore metal band, but the problem is they really they screwed up the set list that night on the main stage. So they had Brian Head, Welch, and then they had Stan Walker, who is a R&B singer,
Oh, interesting.
and then they followed him up by Skillet, which is another metal-ish
Yeah,
band.
yeah.
So it was kind of like all the girls who came to see Stan Walker, not me, I wasn't a big Stan Walker fan, but there were a lot of girls in the audience who were huge Stan Walker fans, who were super hyped, who ended up getting thrown over the front because they couldn't hack it with the metalheads in the back, who were slowly like elbowing their way towards the front for Skillet, you know? Like it was so nuts. But it was such a good time, and it was also a really great time to like get to know like different bands and things. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a really like, despite it being a religious thing, because like I said, I'm not a religious person. I've never
Right.
been a religious person. I found it just such a fun environment to be in, just to be with other people talking about music and like experiencing music and like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there were like little stages and big stages, and I got to see like there were some like rappers performing, so I got to go to some rap concerts, and I got to go to some rock concerts, and got to go to a lot of indie, like new up and coming indie bands and like all kinds of stuff, religious or not, because they had a mixture. So I was like, this is just such a cool vibe, and it was such a nice space as well. Everybody I met
Absolutely.
was so lovely, and I loved the live music scene for that, because everybody was just, apart from the metalheads who were trying to shunt people out.
Yeah.
those guys can kick it, but everyone else was delightful, and it was just
Hell
such
yeah.
a cool vibe. But
That's
I
awesome.
love live music. There's something about live music that just brings people together that is just
Yeah.
so good.
Could not agree more.
I wish I could do more of it. Yeah.
I saw Skillet open for Shinedown and Puddle of Mud. Their violinist looks like he was on the verge of
yes.
tears. Well, that's just the spirit of Christ flowing through him.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was the power of his electric cello, because honestly, that electric cello is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was like they had like a see-through electric cello, and then every time we played it, they had these massive flame pyrotechnics, and you could feel the
wow.
fire. You're like, whoa, this is hot. It's so hot in here, and it's like summer, New Zealand. It's like 35 degrees in the middle of Hamilton Field somewhere. It's just like, it was
Damn.
crazy, but so cool.
That's
This
crazy.
is what made me
yeah.
jealous about my My Chemical Romance tickets, because honestly, I was so down for it. So down. I'd love to go to another concert. I think it would be so fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Would you ever want to go to like an anime con and see like some sort of concert there? I've
Oh my
still got like
gosh.
Anime
Yeah.
NYC on the brain, and I don't know if you heard
Yeah,
me
I
say.
bet. I
I
bet.
don't know if you heard me saying at the beginning. I saw like Fubuki
Yeah.
and Louie of Hololive do it like a
Oh
karaoke set there at like the
wow.
Hololive booth. It
Mhm.
was a lot of fun. Like the crowd was really
That's
digging
so
it.
cool. Yeah, I would love to. It's one of my dreams and goals actually is to get to perform at an anime con at some point.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
haven't had the opportunity yet, but I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping,
I'll
and
say
putting it out there into the universe.
it does look like there are like increasing opportunities for like smaller indies to get on somewhere in an anime con.
Yeah.
Like when I was there this weekend,
Yeah.
I saw like at least
Mhm.
like two different booths holding their own sort of like free VTuber meet and greets. And that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I got to say hi to like Mozumi Peachy of Videre and like
Mhm.
Pia of Beasties, and it was just a bunch
Oh,
of fun.
nice. Yeah. I'm really lucky that I've been able to do some meet and greets myself
Oh
this
hell
year. This will
yeah!
be my first year of ever doing like little meet and greets and things like that. But yeah, I think now that I've cracked the meet and greet scene, my next big goal, I'm like, yeah, I really want to be on a stage at some point.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
haven't actually performed on stage like in front of people since I left community theater back in like
Oh yeah.
2017, 2018. So like it would be very nerve-wracking, but I think it'd be very fun. Yeah.
Mm. I miss going to cons in
Oh.
Australia. Cons aren't the same in Japan. Welcome,
Ah.
Alexis. Good to see you.
Mhm.
I
Australia cons I've heard are really big. My wife is from Australia,
oh
and
yeah.
I went to when I was in the company that I was in. I was really fortunate to get to go virtually to a convention called Smash in
Oh hell
Sydney,
yeah.
and that was so cool. I really, 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 really would love to do more stuff locally.
Hmm.
New Zealand has a very small con scene. Australia has a lot larger con scene, and I think
Hmm.
like there's so many local talents I think we could be showcasing at these events that we really should be
Yeah.
pushing for that. And that's like a dream of mine too, is to get to go to one of these
Absolutely.
cons because honestly, they're really hard to crack as somebody from this area because you'd think like they'd want more Australian and New Zealand people, but yeah, I wish that more. We need more. 20 more. We need
Wow.
more.
Fantastic Reality in LA was a
More.
great experience this year. VTubers at every level. Ooh, interesting. See,
Yeah.
I am so happy for all the VTuber fans that live out in California and are able to go to all these super cool like off-kai and other sorts of
Yeah.
VTuber events. I wish there was a goddamn off-kai on the East Coast. There needs to be an off-kai East, and we need it stat. I mean, far be it for me to rant about American Congoer problems to somebody living on the other side of the world, but you know what I mean.
I know. It's like I've got a lot of friends who are in like Texas, and apparently there's a lot of cool stuff happening in Texas. And I'm like,
Yeah.
every time they go to one, they're like, you should come to Texas, Norma. I'm like, I wish I could, but I can't. It's so
Oh, yeah.
far away.
No, I've heard a lot of cool.
One day.
There are definitely a lot of cool cons down there. It's something I really do appreciate is just like how many like anime cons are opening themselves up more to VTubers and stuff. And like I said, you know, there were like two different booths with like meet and greets where I was, and of course you had Hololive with a huge ass presence there. I think Face Connect also did some
Yeah.
things there, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It was just a fun
Yeah.
fun fucking time.
Sounds so cool. And I'm always so jelly. I keep threatening all my friends. I'm like, one day you're just gonna take me to the con on an iPad, and then every conversation you just be like, and Norma's here, and hold up the iPad.
Yeah.
And here I am. Hello, it's me inside the iPad. I'm here too, in spirit.
I don't have to go to 2 to 3 events to go to every year. Oh, well, that's also valid. I totally get that
Yeah.
perspective. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I'm a very when it comes to travel, I don't really spend all that much, go like cross country or whatever. I tend to stay pretty local. I don't know. I think it would just be helpful to have like a wider range of like VTuber con options across, not just America, but elsewhere too. Like, I see,
Globally.
I
Yeah.
see there's like Vexpo like recently starting in Britain, and I'm
I
really,
know.
I'm really happy about that. But like,
Everyone's like, Norma, you gonna come back to the UK just for Vexpa? I'm like, probably not, because that's like a 32 hours worth of flying. But
oh my God,
like, it's
yeah.
nice.
Every VTuber longs to be on the wheelie iPad. Oh hell yeah!
I know, yes. Yeah, the wheelie iPad, though, it gets expensive. I keep hearing rumors of how expensive the wheelie iPads are. I'm like, damn it, maybe I should just buy my own and ship it out. And just be like,
man.
right, here's me on the iPad. All right, team. I'm going to find a team, and they can do it for me. They can travel on my behalf. I'm also scared of planes, so that really doesn't help. My wife keeps threatening to, next time we fly, to give me some like, help. Some medicinal help. Because I'm just like, oh, man, I really... Ooh. She's like, can we find Xanax? I don't know. What do they take for planes? I'm like, yeah. Need some of that.
Man.
Oh, because it's so... I get so scared of the planes. It's getting worse, but like it got better at a time, because I used to go to America quite a bit, and then the pandemic happened. So after that, I was like, well, I don't need to go to America anymore.
that is entirely
I was going
fair.
once or twice a year for a couple of years. Yeah, like I went to Chicago in 2018, and then I got to go to Baltimore twice in 2019 and 2020.
Oh, nice.
And I really enjoyed that. I had such great times. I got to go to Baltimore in the middle of New Zealand summer, which is Baltimore winter, and it snowed. And it was so beautiful to go from 35-degree heat to -14 and lie in a pit of snow, which turned to mud. And I didn't realize that snow turns to mud. And now I know.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm prepared.
Off Guy East in Atlanta, Georgia. Interesting.
Oh.
See, I wouldn't be opposed to that, because I've never been to Georgia, or Atlanta specifically. I mean, I'd love to go to Atlanta sometime. It seems like such a hip and happening city these days, but yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think on like traveling and logistics expenses. To be honest, I've never really gone to a con, or how to say, I've never organized a trip to a con where I've, had to book my own hotel and go like to a different city or all that stuff. I always try to go local, if not with a friend group.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it more fun that way,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
like I'm always dragging my wife around.
Yeah. So then, what inspired you to become a VTuber?
Oh, that is such a good question. So basically, a long time ago, back in like, must have been like 2019, 2020, especially like during the pandemic, I used to make face content, like full face content.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, I was getting quite sick, and I didn't know why I was getting sick. Turns out I had a thyroid condition. I had a tumor on my thyroid. So I was getting quite sick, and it was becoming quite visible that I was getting like a little bit ill. So people started making, some comments, and I was like, oh, it's not really nice that they're making all these comments. And I really was getting kind of sick and tired of having to put all the effort in to be on camera all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a laziness thing, but it is. It's a laziness thing. So I was like, well, I don't want to have to go through all of this to make my content anymore. And I was already making a lot of audio-based only content. So I was like, well, what if I just take my face away and then start to do, faceless content? So I wonder if there's anyone out there who's doing this. And I started looking around, and I remember I think one of the first VTubers I found was like Mori Calliope and Galgura. This is like when they were first debuting back in Hololive.
Right,
and I remember seeing, especially Mori Calliope, and I saw her and I was like, whoa, she's like a rapper, and like she's doing this thing and she's using this model. That's pretty cool. So at that point I started kind of thinking like, okay, maybe I'm gonna become a VTuber. So in 2021, I started contacting some artists. I started with a Fiverr model.
Oh,
which is
nice.
terrible. And then I found Vroid Studio, and I started making my own Vroids and stuff like that. And
Hell yeah.
I really kind of like just built and built. And I think the best thing I ever did as a VTuber was I built and built and built. And over time, I just kind of upgraded when I was like ready to upgrade.
Right
So
on.
in I think it was like early 2022, I got my first ever VTuber model. Yeah, and then it just progressed. And then eventually, I mean, I grew to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like wanting to try something new with my content. I'm not really enjoying where the angle is going right now. So I joined a
Yeah.
VTuber company. And then after the VTuber company fell through, I was like, I really want to like do my own thing, but differently. And I've always wanted to have a persona that was more personality driven and not all about like one specific style of content. Because I feel like when you make one specific style of content, it really can box you in to like a
Absolutely.
gimmick or a niche or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I really want some like personality driven content, and I'm trying to grow something that's like based around, you know, people who like what I like. So I was like, I'm gonna make this persona, and this is like the first time also that I was really like, I want my lore to be kind of like my own lore. And so this is like, yeah, it's
Right.
a lot of me in this model, in this design, in this lore. So it made me really happy to come back. And yeah, that's kind of how I started in all of this. It
Right
was just out
on.
of like necessity, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
laziness, of course. We love that.
Well, hey. What do you hope to eventually do as a musician in the VTuber community? Like as loaded as a phrase as this might be, what do you hope is your legacy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, my legacy, I really want it to be the music. Right now, I'm experimenting in different projects and different streams of growth, because the downside to being a content creator or a musician or whatever is, regardless of what you do, you still, you know, you don't want to be performing to an empty room. So, you know, you gotta try and grow doing something. So I'm branching out into like I'm running a podcast now that I'm working on, and yeah, things like that. So my gaming streams and my podcast and things like that. But my big thing is I really want people to remember me for the music that I write and the songs. I think that's why every time I get messages from people when they say, this song really inspired me, this song really spoke to me, like this song means a lot to me. I mean, it means so much more because all of the stuff that I've been creating musically has been so personal.
Hell
and
yeah.
so like I've got hands in it. I mean, I wrote everything. All the lyrics are mine, you know, like all the demos, most of the demos I created myself. So it's like it's such an expression of like my creativity. So I think like I would love for that to be the thing. My ultimate goal as well with VTubing is, I keep joking around that I'm like, I want to be a VTuber pop star, but that's it. That's the goal. When I was 5, I told my mom I was going to be a pop star, and now I'm going to do it. So that's that's kind of the vibe. And eventually I would love to perform my original songs in a concert. It's been a dream of mine for a long time. I've never really been able to figure out how to make that happen. Like I said, I would love to sing at cons more. So cons, if you're listening, hi, I'm available. I will clear my schedule for you. I'm free.
Book Norma.
But yeah, like that kind of stuff. Please, we need #book Norma. I used to joke with one of my producers that we wanted to be the first VTubers at Eurovision.
Oh.
Probably not going to happen, but you know what? A girl can dream.
That'd be fucking incredible.
Imagine if they... Listen, Australia has had a really bad run of Eurovision songs, okay? This year they didn't get in. Last year they didn't get into the finals either. So, Australia, I'm just going to say to you, I'm not Australian. I get it. That's fine. But New Zealand's pretty close. So, if you put me into Eurovision, I guarantee we would get you to the finals. That is a promise. That is a ParaNorma guarantee. So you know it's legit. But like I think my biggest thing though is I really want to be out there making music and doing my thing and having a good time. I mean, I do it for the love of it. So, you know, I'm working on another album right now, and I think like that is also just something that I'm just like I love creating these projects like this. So yeah. It's so fun.
As an Australian, I approve your application.
thank you. Now let's petition the government. Next step, petition the government.
Oh god.
World domination will be ours. Yes.
Airdrop into Canberra. Let's
But
see.
could you imagine they could hologram me in? It would be hilarious.
It'd be awesome.
It would.
Do you have any dream goals or collabs?
Oh, dream goals or collabs. Oh my gosh. Chop Chop Albo, I love it. I know who that is now. I did some research on the Australian government recently because he had an election, and my parents-in-law were like, "You know nothing about Australia." So I was like, "Fine, I'll learn." And boy, did I. Dream projects and collabs. Okay. Well, there's a couple of dream projects I have in mind that I actually can't talk about because they might happen. So that's cool. I love it when these things happen.
Hell yeah.
But I hate not being able to tell everybody everything because I have ADHD, and it's like in my nature to be very open about things.
That's all good. It's fun.
I'm the worst
You're
for
making
leaking my own
moves.
stuff. Yeah, I'm the worst for leaking my own stuff, but there's a few things that I've always wanted to do that maybe are going to come to fruition. Just watch this space on that kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
But I guess like dream collabs. The thing is, when it comes to collaborations with people, I'm really open to people. I like to work with people who have a good vibe and good rapport, I guess.
Mhm.
Like, I've been in so many collabs over the years with VTubers who are huge and VTubers who are teeny tiny and everyone in between, and I feel like there's been collabs with massive VTubers that I've really hated, hated, and there's been collabs with small VTubers who I've adored. So it's like, it's really like depends on the vibe. You know, if somebody is in like a good vibe with you and they are open and friendly and it feels correct, that's the collabs I want to be a part of, you know.
Hell yeah.
I've become notoriously picky in my old age because I feel like it's really important as VTubers that we not just, like, I'm in an era, I keep joking to people, I'm in my yes era, I'm saying yes to everything, but there's also some things that I'm like, I can't say yes to absolutely everything because there's always going to be like that one thing. If it doesn't feel right, it's just not right.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm always looking for people who A, want to work with me. That's a given. B,
Hell yeah.
who have a similar vibe and taste to me. That's also why I work with like the same 2 or 3 producers over and over and over again.
Right.
Because there are certain people out there that I have worked with that I've gone, wow, we really click. We are literally the same wavelength. One of my main producers and we actually produced my entire album with never even talking to each other on like voice chat.
Oh damn.
We only just texted each other. Yeah, we did everything through text. I would send her a track, she would send me something back. I'd send her something, she'd send it back. We'd just talk like that, and we'd just talk over text, over Discord. But we never voice chatted. And the first time we voice chatted was during my donathon. She came onto my stream, and that was the first time we'd ever properly met. And I was like, how did we put out an album together? We've like never properly met. And she's like, I know, it's wild that we just have the same brain cell. But sometimes that works like that. So yeah, I never want to put like names to collabs as well. Because I think like, I'm not the kind of person who's like, I want to name drop all the people that I want to work with. But at the same time, it's like, if people vibe with me, then that's cool. I just want to work with people who want to make cool, fun stuff and who want to have a good time, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I've been really fortunate to work with lots of other cool VTubers. Like I've done songs with my friends Angel Steps, who's really talented and really cool. We did a song with Prism Splay, who is super talented and super cool.
Hell yeah.
And I would love to work with more VTubers. So VTubers, if you're out there and you're passionate about music and you want to talk about music, you should hit me up and we can chat. And yeah, I also, one of my dream projects, actually, this is like an aside.
Sure.
I would love to eventually write songs for other VTubers.
Oh,
I have a lot
yeah.
of music in me, and not all of my songs I write, I feel like are for me. Like I write a lot of demos, and every time I write a demo, sometimes it's like, oh, this is perfect. I know exactly what this is for, and I know, and it's really personal, so this is mine. But there are other demos I've written that I'm like, this is not a me song. So I think in the future, I would love if I became a person that people could come to and work with in terms of like, especially lyric writing and songwriting. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that's a goal of mine. That
You
I'm
could
like,
become
one day.
you could become like the prince of the VTubing world, where you write so much damn music that you have to form like separate side projects to get it out.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, here, do you want a song? I'm that annoying person in the group chat. It's like, hey, do you guys want a song? I've got a song. Does anyone want this song? Please take the song. Like a little puppy. Like you hold it up, like, please take my song. Will you love it and cherish it forever? Will you? Thank you. Here it is. Gifted to you. I wrote a song for a friend. I really hope at some point it comes out. I wrote a song for a friend. I remember like she was like, I want to make an original song, and I was like, done. And literally 30 minutes later, I was like, right, here's your song. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I just wrote the song. Here you go. Whoop. And she's like, are you serious? Why did you do that? I was like, you said you wanted an original song. I gave you an original song. Like, do you want it? And she's like, yes. I was like, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, oh, I love it.
Lovely.
It's so fun.
Yeah. It looks like we're reaching about the 2-hour mark here, and I do have a few things that I'd love to keep asking you about, but I do need to go eat dinner at some point because I
valid though.
I haven't had a proper meal since this morning. But
oh no, what a mood. Yeah.
But something I like to let me read Alexis's comment here first. One day I want to do an original song, but only just getting in the habit of doing karaoke streams and mini covers. Well, Ganba, we all start
valid.
Somewhere. I'm still working.
I have a lot of friends actually who have been coaching through that kind of stuff. So honestly, yeah, keep pushing. Keep doing it.
I'm only I'm still building up the courage to write my own original stuff and contract a producer. So
nice.
like baby steps.
Yeah, and it's such a big leap too, like going from like I want to do a song to like contacting people.
Yeah.
I always say the first time I send a new producer my vocals, I die just a little inside because I'm just like, please be good, please do you like it,
God.
please like it, oh my god.
No, Nori can attest to the frustrations I have sometimes with with trying to get things just right.
Yeah.
But
it's the way. It's the artist way. It's always gotta be perfect, and it never is. But
oh my god,
we try anyway.
But yeah, usually I like to leave my streams, these music talk streams, off here with another sort of question to you. Given the Given the chaotic state the world is going through right now, obviously stress has been something on a lot of people's minds. Something I always wonder of my guests is what sort of music do you turn to in times of stress? So if you're feeling stressed, sad, angry, negative emotions, like how do you cope with music?
Yeah, that's such an interesting question. I think it's so interesting because over the years I've got like 3 different playlists for this kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have what I call my sad girl vibes playlist, which is a playlist that's entirely composed of Taylor Swift, John Bellion, Tori Kelly, and a bunch of like indie pop artists. I love. Especially the album The Human Condition by John Bellion. That's one of my favorites to play when I'm in my sad vibes. The other one is I put my emo playlist on where I listen to a bunch of My Chemical Romance and The Used, and we just go hard. And play some House of the Dead or something and just shoot some zombies in the face. That's always a good time.
Hell yeah.
I used to have a specific zombie killing playlist for that kind of vibe. But the other thing I do is I listen to like really intense party music. Like recently I've been re-listening to Brat. That's so basic for me to say Brat by Charlie XCX. But literally Charlie XCX's entire back discography, I listen to all of his stuff because it's so great. I've been a huge Charlie XCX fan for years. Caroline Polachek, Desire, I Want to Turn Into You, that entire album is great.
Right.
Stuff like that, like really high energy party stuff. Kesha just released a new album.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And it's please go listen to it. Shout out to Joyride, to Boy Crazy, and to Yippee-Ki-Yay featuring T-Pain, who is the man, by the way. I love me some T-Pain.
That is a hell of a
T-Pain,
throwback.
yes. Oh, I love his use of auto-tune. It's just so good.
Mm.
I also love me some auto-tune. So yes. So yeah, I listen to like those really upbeat party stuff, and I put on my hyper pop and just go to town on it. Honestly,
Hell yeah.
it's so fun. And I think like especially like dance and pop music can really turn the vibe around, you know? I love to be like in my car. Like my wife and I sometimes, if we're feeling really down on ourselves, like one time we were having a bad day, so she took the day off work, I took the day off streaming, and we just drove over to Hamilton to go to Popeyes because there's a Popeyes there.
Oh, hell yeah.
We drove for like a few hours to go to the Popeyes. You know, that was really fun. And we just put on like our loudest party music in the car, and we just jam out in the car on our way to just go and do something fun, like something spontaneous and fun, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Go out, and sometimes we'll like go to a different city and just like, luckily I live in New Zealand, and like everything's like within probably like a 6 to 12 hour drive max. Like,
yeah.
Not a big country. So like you can pretty much just go in the car and go anywhere, and you can just jam out and, you know, like feel like those road trip vibes, which I love. I love
That sounds
road trip
awesome.
vibe. It's so good. Yeah. So I think like I know things are terrible. Like we see it here too in New Zealand. We're having our own mini version of this moment, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
The news is depressing, so sometimes it's good to just shut it off and go, you know what? We're just gonna party. As the world burns, we will party.
Yeah. And hopefully we will be around in the ashes to build something better.
Exactly. Fingers crossed. We will prevail, so.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Norma, it has been a fantastic time talking with you tonight. I've had a great time.
Thank you. I've had a great time too, and thank you so much for letting me come and chat to you on your channel.
Of course. Where can people best find you?
Oh gosh. Okay, my best place to find me at the moment is my YouTube channel, at paranormal_ here on YouTube. I love my YouTube channel. I'm working really hard on my content recently, doing my covers and my podcast and my streams, and soon I'm going to be doing some more short content and stuff
Hell
like
yeah.
that. So, yep, you can also find me over on all my social medias like Twitter. I have a Discord server. I have a couple of Discord servers. We've now got a music Discord server. So if you are interested in music and you want to connect with other music like individuals, it's for both VTubers and VTuber adjacent people. There's a few people in there who are not VTubers but are like in the VTuber sphere. So if you are a music lover and you make music, specifically this is for music creators, and you want a place to throw your demos and then like close your eyes and get some good feedback and, you know, freak out about a new song that you're working on, because I'm always working on new songs and freaking out, so I needed a place to put it. So I just selfishly made the server, and I'm really glad that people enjoy it.
I'm in there too. Join us.
Yeah. And can I just shout out to everybody in the music server, by the way? It is a small but mighty group of creators who are all super passionate, and honestly, I have not had to do like basically a single thing with that server but set it up and kind of let it go, because everybody is just vibing and
Hell yeah.
sharing all this stuff, and oh my god, it's so cool. But yeah, if you want to, I've always wanted to make space like that. I love making spaces for people, and I really want to, I guess, support and encourage other people to do it. Yeah, so it's so cool.
Hell yeah. But yeah, thank you to everybody who came by and checked the stream out. I mean, go follow Norma if you haven't yet already. If you're not already part of her audience rating into mine, and if that's the case, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm Rezi Orenji, a lazy orange cat boy that does music deep dives into various aspects in music history, and I try to host these weekly, bi-weekly, depends how busy I am, music talk streams, and I I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go and make myself some dinner, but before we do that, I'm gonna try and redirect us somewhere good. You know what? Let's fucking raid into Scarla. She's got a stream right now titled simply Feet.
Nice.
And I want to see what that's about. So,
Oh no. Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm so afraid. Let's do it.
So if y'all want to join me in raiding her, feel free to type in her chat cat raid with me. But otherwise, if you want to get off and do your own stuff, that is all well and good. I hope you have a fantastic night. But that will be it for tonight. I hopefully will be updating y'all very soon about more progress on the third glam metal deep dive. And I'll also be probably either tonight or tomorrow posting a shit ton of images that I took, pictures and video that I took from Anime NYC. So look forward to that. But I will see. But no, I'm getting ahead of myself. But once again, thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.